Let me start by saying something that you may need to hear right now. Failing an exam hurts. It hurts when you worked hard and still didn't get the result you wanted. It hurts when your friends passed and you didn't. It hurts when you see the grades, look at your efforts and wonder what happened. And sometimes the pain is not even the exam itself. It's the disappointment, it's the embarrassment, it's the fear, the feeling that maybe you are not good enough. If you have recently failed an exam or if you are carrying the weight of a past failure, listen carefully. This video is for you. And before we continue, do me a quick favor. Like this video right now, share it with a friend or a student who may be struggling right now. Drop a comment saying, I will not give up, and then subscribe because this channel is here to help students grow through challenges, not just celebrate successes. Now, let's talk honestly. The first thing I want you to know is this: failing an exam does not mean you are a failure. Let me say that again. Failing an exam does not mean you are a failure. An exam is an event, it is not your identity. Unfortunately, many students mix the two together. They fail one exam and immediately start telling themselves things like, I am not smart, I will never succeed, everyone is better than me, my future is ruined. But none of those things are necessarily true. One exam measures your performance at a particular moment. It does not measure your entire potential. Think about it this way. If a football team loses one match, does that mean they can never win again? Of course not. Good teams lose matches. Successful people experience setbacks. The key is what happens next. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes students make after failing. They make emotional decisions. Some stop studying completely. Some isolate themselves. Some convince themselves that trying again is pointless. And some give up on goals they were once excited about. But making permanent decisions based on temporal emotions is dangerous. Right after failure, your emotions are strong. You feel disappointed, you feel frustrated, you feel discouraged. That's normal, but don't allow those emotions to make decisions for your future. Instead, give yourself time to process what happened. Be honest about your feelings. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to feel upset, but don't stay there forever. Now, let's talk about something very important. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what can this teach me? This question changes everything because failure can become a teacher if you are willing to learn. Maybe your study method wasn't effective. Maybe you underestimated the exam, or maybe you struggled with time management. Maybe you were dealing with stress, burnout, or distractions. The goal is not to blame yourself, the goal is to learn because every lesson you learn can help you perform better later. Now, let me tell you a story that happens to many students. A student fails an exam, they feel terrible, but instead of quitting, they carefully analyze what went wrong. They change their study habits, they start practicing past questions, they improve their consistency, and the next time they perform much better. What changed? Not their intelligence, their approach. Sometimes success is not about becoming smarter, it's about becoming more effective. Now, let's talk about comparison. After failing an exam, many students compare themselves to everyone else. They see classmates celebrating, they see people posting results, and they start feeling left behind. But listen carefully, you don't know the full story behind someone else's success, and they don't know the full story behind your struggle. Everyone's journey is different. Some people move faster in certain seasons. Some people face obstacles that others never see. Comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 10 is unfair. Focus on your own journey. Now, let's talk about confidence. Failure can damage confidence if you are not careful. You start doubting yourself, you start expecting bad outcomes, you stop believing you can improve. But confidence is not built by never failing. Confidence is built by learning that you can survive failure and keep moving forward. Think about a child learning to walk. Do they fall? Yes, many times. But they don't conclude that walking is impossible. They get up and try again, and eventually they succeed. The same principle applies to academics. Now, let's talk about what you should actually do after failing an exam. First, accept the result. Not because you like it, but because you cannot change what has already happened. Acceptance allows you to move forward. Second, identify the real reason behind the failure. Be honest. Don't make excuses. Find the actual cause. Third, create a plan for improvement. Not a plan based on panic, a realistic plan. Maybe you need better study methods. Maybe you need more consistency. Maybe you need fewer distractions. Maybe you need more practice questions. Focus on solutions. Fourth, take action. Many students spend weeks thinking about improvement but never actually change anything. Real change happens when action follows reflection. Now, let's talk about something many students forget. Your life is bigger than one exam. Yes, exams are important, grades matter, but your entire future is not determined by a single result. There are people who failed exams and still achieved incredible things. There are people who struggled academically for a period and later excelled. The common factor is that they didn't give up. They kept learning, they kept growing, they kept moving forward. And that's what I want for you. Now, let me ask you a question. What if this failure is not the end of your story? What if it's simply a chapter? What if the lesson you learn from this experience becomes the thing that helps you succeed later? Because sometimes our biggest setbacks become our greatest teachers. Now, I'm not saying failure is enjoyable, it isn't, but I am saying it doesn't have to define you. You can learn from it, you can grow from it, and you can come back stronger. Before I end, I want you to remember three things. First, failing an exam does not make you a failure. Second, every setback contains a lesson if you are willing to look for it. Third, your future is still being written. Don't allow one difficult moment to convince you that your story is over, because it isn't. You may have failed an exam, but you have not failed at life. Keep going. Your comeback story may be just beginning. I will see you in the next video.